Hi guys, hello. So when I was little, people told me never pick your favorite, but you're rather aesthetically pleasing bunch. So I might pick one or two just to keep with the nerves. And at one of the gigs in London, somebody recently called me tall, charismatic, and definitely not heterosexual. Which is actually true because I'm retired bisexual, which means none of you are safe in this room. But as tempting as it can feel to unpack my sexuality in front of wonderful people of Manchester, I would focus next as many minutes as I will gain talking about my cultural integration here. So you see, I'm Ukrainian, born during communism, and you can notice this existential dread in my beautiful eyes. And you know, being Ukrainian or Eastern European in London, we have some traits. We're tall, hardworking, but extremely direct people. And I remember 15 years ago when I was moving to the UK, I packed all my trauma in the two suitcases. But alongside trauma, I brought so much directness that local indigenous population of this British island finds rather overwhelming. And believe it or not, my first job appraisal at work, my manager called me borderline unpleasant. And the only unpleasant thing about the whole shebang was, why borderline? I know it's intentional. Just be brave and say what it is, you know, like why British people are have such a deep allergy to directness. Like if someone knows the answer, tell me after the break because I really want to know. And you know, as non-native English speaker, we use words very efficiently, yet sometimes we forget very simple words. Yet I remember early on in my London journey, I was coming back from clubbing, and I was craving for cereal, right? I walked into the supermarket, but I forgot the damn word. So I was walking around the aisles, couldn't find the items. So I went to the shop assistant and I said, can you help me find morning crisps? Look of terror, confusion, and you know, panic attack borderline was very telling, I must tell you. But I procured the cereal and I was very proud of that moment, right? Moving on to working in the British office story. About 6 months in, I realized I made some interesting observation. Every single time I would tell my colleagues something, they didn't really have much of a follow-up questions. And I was like, am I overthinking or they just don't care? Or they just don't care about me. So one fateful Monday morning, I walked into the office and I made a commitment to myself that first person who will ask me how was my weekend will get to listen to the whole story. It happened to be Jane, right? So I met Jane and she was like, how was your weekend? And I was like, launching into it, and you know, she trying to retreat, but I gently held her hand and I leaned over to her ear and I whispered, not so easy, Jane. Needless to say that people afterwards really avoided eye contact with me and really tried not to speak to me much. And maybe last cherry on the top, 5 years ago, I decided to be just like you guys and get British passport, right? So I passed my test and got the exam and went to notarization ceremony where somebody gave me COVID. What a wonderful, fitting welcome into the British public. Don't you think sharing is caring? And the person who was hosting the whole thing said, guys, you're committing to uphold British values. And in the moment, I couldn't understand what upholding British values could look like. But there was this fateful moment in my London career when I was on the London bus going from one rough area to another. And these teenagers were blasting the music from their phones, right? initially my Eastern European self was to lean over them and just, dominate them and tell that I